can. Okay. But I rather than.
Wow. So we are at what I believe was a slave cemetery, and it's literally in the middle of this neighborhood in Fort Mill, South Carolina. This is going to be a short visit because this is very scary. I feel different doing this in the middle of a residential area.
I'm really here.
Scott, I'm really here.
Yes, no.
So good evening to anybody who's resting here. My name is Jill. My God, there's not even any headstones or anything.
Yeah.
How do they know people are here? I've got to do research on this. This just came up on my maps one day when I was looking for cemeteries.
Please be careful here.
This came up on my maps one day when I was looking for cemeteries in the area. I had no idea this was here. Why do I need to be careful? God, you're literally in the middle of all these houses. I don't even know how they found out. That might be a headstone right there. That looks like a little headstone.
And wine.
Let me go over here and look. Once again, if I'm stepping on somebody, I do not mean to. That might just be a rock. Well, there's an indentation in the ground. And that looks like another broken headstone right there. So I'm really not sure. There's little rocks sticking up that are most likely headstones. My heart is racing right now because it just feels so abandoned and lost and forgotten in here.
Send one to Jersey.
Oh, I literally don't know how to pronounce. How to proceed. I got neither. Neither. That's interesting. So are there slaves buried in here? Enslaved, I should say. Are the enslaved buried in here?
Maybe a little.
Maybe a little.
Maybe. The first. Ben Derek.
Is there somebody here who wants to communicate?
Yeah.
Please do. Please do. Tell me who's buried in here. And I'm whispering because I'm literally in the middle
I see.
of all these houses. I see lots of little rocks coming up through the ground. Are those headstones? There's nothing written on them. But back in the day... Very interesting. Back in the day, when people were buried...
Let's talk all.
I should say when people buried their enslaved... Temptation. Back when the enslaved were buried, there were no headstones.
Titles.
And their family
They like
members
each other.
would put a rock on top of where they were buried to remember where they were. And over time, so many of those rocks have gotten buried. Who's buried in here? Is there anybody in here with me? This is so bizarre. Right in the middle of this very, fancy, rich neighborhood in Fort Mill, South Carolina.
members.
It was literally, I'm going to say, arrests a lot of members of our black community. I'm scanning the... Alice?
He was.
Is somebody named Alice trying to communicate with me? I sure wish I knew where people were buried under here. I'd be much more careful about how I was walking.
So,
Dollars.
Well,
Rule.
inspiration. I'm not sure what that means. What does inspiration mean? Oh gosh, I'm really trying to be careful where I step because there's indentations on the ground, which tells me that that is probably where somebody is buried. Did you just say doubt it?
Hey, but I.
Authorized.
They wish.
Is there anyone here listening to me?
Our family.
because you're conscious.
Is there anyone who can see me?
And how?
Can you see what color my hair is?
Hands.
Boot.
Can you see what I have on my face?
3 car buyers.
The tub.
I'm good.
The tub.
Each other. Because you're
If there's anybody here with me, can you tell me what it's like in the afterlife? What's it like when you cross over? I don't even know how many people are buried here. I don't know much about this cemetery because there's no name for it. I'm not sure how to look it up, but I'm going to do some more research and see what I can find. It's quiet. Is there anyone here with me right now? Samuel. Is there somebody named Samuel with me? Is that what that means? I would love to communicate with somebody if you were willing to. You definitely don't have to. You can ignore me.
Yo.
You can talk to me. You can tell me to go away. Who is Samuel? There's no headstones. There's nothing to indicate who is buried here.
Why is it?
Is that why is that? Because enslaved persons are buried here, and back then they didn't care. They didn't care.
No one else.
They didn't value their lives. What's watching me? What's watching me?
which is
There's something about witches? Who's watching me? Is it Samuel? pretty here. I'm just sad that you're surrounded by houses. I think somebody is resting here. The way that rock is placed, and it's a little sunken. Right there, is somebody buried right here? Was that a yes? Is somebody buried right here? Looks like it. Looks like someone's buried over there too. It's hard to tell on the video, but the ground is sunken in spots. Huge indication that somebody's buried there. Well, I got Roman numerals. The third. It's hard to see. It's 3 lines. Roman numeral the third. I've never gotten that. That's interesting. Is the energy here good? Because it sure feels like it is. It feels really peaceful. But I am sorry you have to be in the middle of a neighborhood. Jiminy Christmas.
Use equipment.
I didn't hear that. Because I'm crunching through leaves. How many people are buried in here?
Age and
Can you give me a number? I think this is a headstone over here. I don't think there's any. Oh.
Wisdom.
Jesus word.
I can't see any writing, but I do think that this is a headstone. Is there somebody buried right here? And if you look, it's hard to tell in the video, but if you stand here and you look, you can see depressions all throughout here.
Incorporated.
You should come back. You want me to come back another day?
Treasure.
Is it time for me to go? You want me to go now? I can do that. It's getting dark anyways.
Elliot wave.
The sun is starting to set.
Family.
I like the forest and then turn around. Ooh, that was interesting. Well, you must like the forest because you live in one. Well, you don't live here, but
Yes.
your body does. Okay.
Hey, young.
Is it time for me to go? You guys are quiet. I think I'll go. But to those souls who are resting here, I want to thank you for letting me come by.
Which way?
And for those who might have communicated with me, I want to thank you for giving me your time. Can I come back? I just got you should come back. Who said that? Age. I'm 53.
Zone.
53 years old. That was interesting. Okay, my friends. I hope I can come back. And
Bring tight.
I hope you were all resting in peace. I really, truly do. I'd love to know how many people are in here. Can you tell me?
La que le.
How many people were buried in here?
Dos.
Can you give me a number? Okay, friends, I'm going to go. And I'm going to turn off my devices. There will be no more communication.
Hey, but I'd rather.
Okay, but you'd rather what?
They slap.
Interesting. Okay, so you're going to stay here. And I will go home. And I want to wish you good night.
1940.
Thank you.
Plate International.